Hello everyone, welcome to this video. The topic is a Chinese reminder theorem. Okay. Now, what is the use of this Chinese reminder theorem? That is, in short, it is called CRT in the cryptographic language. Okay. Let us understand that in today's video. In this video, the Chinese reminder theorem is used basically whenever we are working with large numbers in the cryptographic algorithms. We can decompose that large number into some smaller numbers, and by taking some residue modulo and all, okay, and we can do a arithmetical operation. This is the advantage of Chinese reminder theorem. So how this CRT is used to decompose a larger number into smaller numbers and perform arithmetical operations and convert back into the large number. Let us understand this with examples. Now, basically this CRT, the Chinese reminder theorem, why the name Chinese reminder theorem has come to this particular method is because he is the discoverer. This person has discovered this particular algorithm. That is Sun Tzu Xuan Qing, okay, around 4th century AD, okay. So which is basically useful for a modular arithmetical operations, as I told earlier, when we are working with the large numbers, okay, with respect to large modular. So we can advantage of this is we can speed up the computation, okay, a modulo computations. That is the major advantage. Now, what the CRT says, the Chinese reminder theorem says is, I have an integer, let us say m, which is a very large number, okay. If that m can be expressed as a product of say k integers, okay, that are, and those k integers are pairwise co-prime to each other, then every integer in the set which consists of all the numbers less than m, say this is my Zn, which is a set which consists of all the elements from 0 to m minus 1 less than m, we can reconstruct all these numbers, okay, from the residue with respect to those co-prime numbers or k numbers, whatever we have selected here, which is used to represent the m as a product of those k integers, okay. With the residue of those k numbers, we can reconstruct any number less than m. That is the advantage of CRT, Chinese reminder theorem. So what is the meaning of this? We will understand now. Okay, now, so decomposition of that m, okay, into the factors that are pairwise co-prime by m can be represented as m is equal to the product of k numbers. Let us say small m1, m2, mk. I decomposed this m into product of k integers, or in short, I can represent like this. This is the normal representation, you know it, right? Where this mi is nothing but they are the pairwise relatively prime numbers. Okay, that is GCD of say mi and mj should be equal to 1. So they are relatively prime or co-prime numbers, where this I is less than or equal to, I mean this I less this condition bit mistakes is there actually. I is less than or equal to j, less than or equal to k. This j is less than or equal to k. Okay, but I is not equal to j. Now I'll explain this concept with this example. Just look at this. So I have m equal to 10, means this set is formed with the elements of 0 to 9 in this case, right? I can represent this set, I mean number m 10 as the product of two integers which are co-prime to each other. What are those numbers? 2 and 5. That is 2 into 5 is 10, right? Now, as the definition says here, I can represent any of the number less than m minus 1 as, okay, we can reconstruct by using those 2 and 5, residue of 2 and 5. That is the definition what it says. Let us take that number as 9. So some number 9 I have taken in this particular set. Okay. Now what I'll do, I find the residue of this 9 with that 2 and 5. What is the residue I'll get? With the modulo 2, the residue what I'll get is 1. With the modulo 5, the residue what I'll get is 4, right? That is 9 mod 2 and 9 mod 5 is 1 and 4 respectively. So I represent this 9 as tuple, that is 1 and 4. Okay. So using this tuple 1 and 4, I can perform different operations. So this tuple 1 comma 4, which is used to represent 9, okay, is smaller numbers always. In my example, I have taken n equal to 10. This n can be 500, it can be even a higher number, right? In that case, this tuple will be even smaller numbers. So I can use these tuples to perform arithmetical operations like addition, multiplication, subtraction, or whatever. Finally, I can convert back into the large number. That is the advantage of CRT. Now, This is another application or say example. So we can express say 130 as the product of 5 and 26. Both are relatively prime to each other, right? Isn't it? Where my M1 is 5 and M2 is 26. Or we can represent 130 as 2, 5 and 13. That is 2 into 5 into 13. Where again all the three numbers are relatively prime to each other. In that case M1 will be 2, M2 equal to 5 and M3 equal to 13. So these are the examples for this particular statement. Now, see, as I told earlier, by using the tuple, like say 1 and 4, let us say this is A1 and this is A2. Okay, that 9 is represented as tuple with A1 equal to 1, A2 equal to 4. So from this 1 and 4, I can represent that 1 and 4, I can convert back into the number 9. Okay, how to do that, I'll tell you now. See, this is my number 9, say A, capital A, is represented or using this tuple like A1 to AK. In my case, I have two values there, that is for k equal to 2, I have two numbers, that is 2 and 5, right? So let us take any integer A in the set Zm, like in Z10, I have taken A, that is 9. By the tuple k tuple, I represented it, right? Whose elements are in Zmi using the following correspondence, this representation. We know that, how to represent it now, right? Where that A belongs to Zm and I belongs to Zmi. So this I belongs to Zmi, that is 2 and 5. That means the residue of that 2 and 5 only is AI is. And this A belongs to set Zm, that is Z10, this is 9, correct? That is the example what I can quote. So exact value of this is found by using what? A mod of Mi. That's what we have done. That is 9 mod of 2, 9 mod of 5. That's what we did, right? Isn't it? Now, CRT makes the following two assertions about the k tuples, whatever we have got here. What are those assertions are? This is the first assertion. Now, what does that says? The mapping between the integer A, which belongs to Zm, and the k tuples, that is this, is bijection. Okay, the meaning that it is one-to-one mapping between this and this. Okay, that is there corresponds a unique k tuple for every integer in Zm. You choose any value of the A in the set Zm, there is always a unique k tuple. That's what we have. Okay, and we can perform arithmetical operations on the numbers in the Zm. Okay, carried out equivalently by using k tuples. That's what I have told earlier also. Now let us understand this with this equation. Now how to get back? As I told here, by using the k tuple, I can convert that back into the large number. A small k tuple of smaller numbers can be considered and can be converted back into the large number. Now how to do that? I'll tell you now. Say, so to compute the number say A for the given tuple A1, A2 to AK, where what we have to do is first we have to calculate say Mi, which is equal to M divided by Mi. Okay, so that is my M is in this case is 10 divided by Mi. So that's what I have to do. So you do this calculation first. I'll take up an example in the next slide and explain this concept again. Okay, I'll tell you the steps. What we have to do first. So we have to calculate Mi, which is M divided by Mi for all the values of this I between 1 and k. Okay, since this Mi has the has for its factors all the prime moduli of Mj, it must be the case that this condition. That means this condition should hold good always. That is Mi congruent to 0 mod Mj. That is Mi. If I divide that by Mj, it divides completely. I can say without a remainder. Remainder equal to 0. Now the second step, what we have to do is we have to find out the inverse of each Mi, whatever we have found here. Okay, that is Mi inverse mod Mi. That's what we need to find. Okay, then you multiply that with Mi to get another integer here, that is Cr. Fine, this is second step. So since Mi is co-prime to Mi, there must exist a multiplicative inverse in the Mi mod Mi. So there should be, for any Mi, there should be a multiplicative inverse. So that multiplicative inverse we have to find in the second step. Now we can calculate or we can get back the original. Just one second. We have to get back the original number. Okay, that is a large number, as it is equal to summation I equal to 1 to k ai into ci mod m. So that is ai into the summation of ai into mi inverse mod mi mod of m. Finally, you have to take a residue of m to get back the original signal. Now, original number. I'm sorry. Now, let us understand this with an example. What is the This is before going to my example. This is just a, as I told earlier, that we can perform a different arithmetical operations, right? Isn't it? My second assertion says we can perform a different arithmetical operations. If it is possible to represent, say, A in terms of its tuples, B in terms of its tuples, something like this, using only these tuple values, okay, tuples values, we can perform a arithmetical operations. That is A plus B mod of n, if I want to perform, where m is a large number and A and B are the integers which is less than m. I want to perform a arithmetical operation with A and B. Fine. So A1 plus B1 mod of mi, m1, A2 plus B2 mod of m2, so on AK and BK mod of MK. So I will get a tuple values for this summas, or we can perform a subtraction or maybe the multiplication by using only the tuples. Okay, and this algorithm or this CRT is useful for, say, m as long as 150 digit number. Just imagine what is the advantage of this CRT is. Fine. Now I'll start with a simple example. Okay, my m is 1813. 1813 is my m. It's a huge number, right? I can represent that m as product of two numbers, that is k equal to 2 in this case. 37 multiplied by 49. Both are relatively prime to each other. Okay, I consider some number, say 973, which is less than 1813. Okay, how to represent this number using a k tuples? Let us understand this. Okay, so my m1 is 37. M2 is 49. Okay, my M is 1813, and say A is 973. I want to represent 973 in the form of tuple. Okay, what we have to do first, we have to calculate M1 and M2, right? As I told here, we have to calculate this Mi, which is equal to M by Mi, right? So let us calculate those numbers. Okay, how to calculate this? M1 is nothing but it is 1813 divided by 37. So I'll get a 49. 1813 divided by 49, I'll get a 37, right? So I got M1 and M2. So we have to find the inverse of this M1 and M2 now. How to find that? It is M1 mod of 37. That is this number, that which comes out to be 34. Okay, M2 inverse is M2 mod of 49. What is M2? M2 is 37. Okay, mod of 49. That is M2 here. That is 49. It comes out to be 4. You can use a extended Euclidean algorithm to find the inverses here. Okay, so using that extended Euclidean algorithm, you have to find the inverse, which comes out to be 34 and 4, right? Now, you have to take the residue of modulo 37 and 49. So, you have to take a residue of 973 mod 37. Okay, 973 mod 37, which gives you the first value in the tuple, that is 11. And you find the residue of 973, 49. Okay, that is this case, 973 mod 39. I'll get a second value in the tuple. So what I did here is I represented 973 by using small numbers here as a tuple, that is 11 and 42. Now using 11 and 42, I can do a different operations. My first number is 973. I can go with the second number. My m is 1813, remember. Okay, my answer should not cross 1813. So we can perform addition, multiplication, all those operations. My first number is 973. Okay, my second number is, say, 678. I want to add these two numbers, 678 and 973. So we have already represented 973 in the form of 11 and 42, right? The second thing is, what we have to do is we have to represent 678 in the form of tuple. Now how to do that? 678 mod 37, 678 mod 49, that m1 and m2, the small m1 and the small m2. Okay, use those numbers, the k integers, and find the residue of this 678 mod 37, 678 mod 49. So I converted the second number also in the form of tuple. Just find the reminders here. You see, 12 and 41. So I have 11 and 42, 12 and 41. So how to add the tuples? This 11 plus 12. Okay, mod 37 for the first case. Fine, mod 37 for the first case. Then 42 plus 41 mod of 49. That's what I have to do. So what is the answer I'll get? I'll get answer as 23, 34. 23, 34. So again, my answer is also in the form of tuple, right? Isn't it? Now I want to convert that into the actual sum. How to do that? We have to use this particular formula. Okay, here comes the use of that inverse. So how to do that? That is A1. Okay, just 1 second. That is A1, M1 multiplied by M1 inverse plus A2 it is. I'm very sorry, this is a small mistake. A2, M2, M2 inverse mod of M. Okay, substitute those values. We have found a M1 inverse and M2 inverse in the previous case. Here, we have found that 34 and 4. Substitute those numbers here substituted here, I'll get the answer as 1651. Okay, by taking the modulus of 1813 mod m, I got the answer as 1651. That is 973 plus 678 mod of 1813 is 1651. So this method and this method, just add these numbers. Okay, uh, directly adding also 973 678 will give you 1651. So using this method also we have got a same answer. The advantage of this CRT is we are doing this in the form of tuples, where these tuples are smaller numbers, right? You can perform an addition using a smaller numbers, and to convert back into the actual answer, this tuple is converted back into the actual answer as 1651. So this is the first example. Now say I want to multiply that 1651, whatever I got here, 1651, the tuple equivalent is 23 and 34. This number, this is my first number, let us say, I want to multiply it by a small number, say 73. How to do that? Multiply this, consider a tuple, multiply each element by 73, take the residue of that 37 and 49. I get a tuple here, 14 and 32. Convert this tuple back into the original number by using the same formula, that is the same formula here, this formula here, use it. Okay, and we'll get answer as 865. Okay, that is 1651 multiplied by 73 mod of 1813 is 865. This is the answer I'll get. Now this is my second example. Okay, similar to the first one, my number is even bigger, 8633. M is 8633. Okay, this can be represented as 89 by 37. Okay, multiplied by 97. I'm sorry, 89 multiplied by 97. That is M1 and M2, small M1 and M2. That's what I have given here. Okay, now the first step is we have to find this capital M1 and M2. How to do that? Divide M by M1. Okay, that is 8633 divided by 89. 8633 divided by 97. I'll get answers as 97 and 89 only. Then using extended Euclid algorithm, find the inverse of those M1 and M2 using the formula here. Okay, I'll get answer as 78 and 12. Okay, now I want to add two integers which are less than 8633. My integers are 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, what is the first step? What we have to do? Represent this number as well as this number by using a tuple, the form of tuple. Okay, so I'll get a tuple as 31 and 17 for this number, and how we got it? 2365 mod of 89. Okay, that is this number. Then 2345 mod of M2, that is 97. Okay, I'll get answer as 31 and 17. 6789 mod of 89. 6789 mod of 97. I'll get a second tuple, right? So this is just correctness to just to check whether this m into m inverse should be equal to 1, right? Mod of m1, and m2 into m2 inverse mod of m2 should be equal to 1 again. So that's what I have given here. I told about second number. Then I'll go to second number directly. 6789. I do this. I found the residue as 25 and 96. So how to do addition here? 31 plus 25. I'll get a 56. 17 plus 96. Okay, which is take a mod of again that the second number 97, which comes out to be 60. Okay, 96 plus 17 mod of 97 is 60. So I got the answer here. Now I have to convert this back into the actual sum, a large number. What is the method? Use this technique again. Okay, where again we have to use that inverse which we found earlier. I'll get the answer as 501. Okay, this is the actual answer for addition of those two numbers with the modulus of 8633. Remember, so these two numbers added with mod of 8633. The answer is 501. Now there is one more application of the CRT, that is Chinese remainder theorem. What we can do with this is we can solve a set of congruent equations with one variable but different moduli. Let's look at this. I want A1 mod M1 should be congruent to Ix, A2 mod M2 should be congruent to X, so on AK mod MK congruent to X. This is the unique number here, right? If such equations can be solved, and we can find the value of this X by using Chinese remainder theorem. Same method we have to follow, that's it. So what we have to do here is, okay, to find this, okay, let's look at this example. Okay, I have an example here, that is X congruent to 2 mod 3, X congruent to 3 mod 5, X congruent to 2 mod 7. So my moduli are different here, right? So what we can do with this is, before going into that CRT, how simple, in a simple way I can solve it. We have to go on substituting different values of X, that is say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. check whether all the three equations holds good or not. Okay, all the equations should satisfy. Okay, so for x equal to 23, if I substitute 23 over here, here and here, the residue will be 2, 3 and 5 with this moduli. So my equation satisfies here with 23. Same answer we can get by using CRT directly. We don't have to go with a trial and error method, but using that CRT we can do this. Now how to do that? These are the steps. Okay, same steps. We have to find again that m, product of m1 to mk. What is that m is? I'll tell you later with that example. Then we have to find that m1, m2 and m3 dividing by m1, these small m1s and m2, m3s. Okay. Then next we have to find out the inverses of those m1, m2, m3 as usual what we did earlier. And you have to solve this particular equation for x. The same equation which we used earlier also. Same method, the same CRT we have to use here. Now what is that capital M is? That is very important. Now we'll go to the example. Just look at this. Same example I have taken. Okay. Now here the solution is this. What is this m? M is nothing but it is the product of these moduli. 3 into 5 into 7. That is capital M. Okay. So 105 divided by 3. Okay. Because just look at this. All the three numbers are relatively prime to each other, right? Pairwise co-prime to each other, right? 3, 5, 7. It should be the case. Remember, then only it is possible to simplify this. So 3 into 5 into 7 is 105. I'll find out this m1, m2 and m3 by dividing 105 by 3, 5 and 7 respectively. I'll get the answers as 35, 21 and 15. I'll use the extended Euclidean algorithm to find the inverses of this m1, m2 and m3. So how to find the inverses? This is the method, m1 mod 3, which comes out to be 2. Then I'll get a 1 as the answer here for the second case. The third case again it is 1. Okay. Then we have to use this equation. I have to use this particular equation to get the value of that common number, that is x. So x is equal to 2 into 35 into 2, the first case. That is this, the number here, that is a, that is 2. A is 2 into 35 is m1. Inverse of m1 is 2. Okay, this is first case. 3, that is a2. Multiply by m2, that is 21, then multiply by the inverse of that 21. Then 2 multiply by 15, 15 is this number, and the inverse of that 15 is 1. Mod of 105 is 23 mod 105, the same 23 which we got earlier, right? Isn't it? This is, let us say, first example. Now I have another example. The statement is something like this. Find an integer that has the remainder of 3 when divided by 7 and 13. Okay, and it has a remainder of 13, okay, but it is divisible by 12. Now what do you mean by this? We have to represent that as in the form of that equations, right? So we get a 3 equations, something like this. I have a number, find an integer x, okay, which has the remainder when it's divided by 7. A remainder is equal to 3 when it's divided by 13, and remainder is equal to 0 when it's divided by 12. So I have written in the form of equation. Now what is the first step we have to do? Just look at this. Okay, we go through all the steps. The x comes out to be 276. Okay, you have to go through those 3 steps here, whatever I explained in the previous slide. So these are the 3 to 4 steps we have to follow to get the answer, and my answer here is 276. One more final example maybe. Okay, use the Chinese remainder theorem to solve this particular example. What is the method? Yes. Okay. Find the product of this 5, 7 and 11. I'll get the answer as 385, all the co-prime numbers, right? Find out m1, m2 and m3 again by dividing this 385 by 5, 7 and 11. Find the inverses of those m1, m2, m3 by using these equations. m1 mod of 5, m2 mod of 7, m3 mod of 11. Okay. Then you find the x using that final equation. It comes out to be 3552. Find the residue by using 385. The answer is 87. So x is equal to 87 is the common number here. So in this particular video, we have understood what is Chinese remainder theorem is, what is the use of Chinese remainder theorem when we are working with large numbers in the cryptographic algorithms. Fine. Thank you for watching this video.